Because we're about to get the Prime Minister, that'll go for a while. I want to make the most of our time specifically with you, Mark. This prison's decision today, normal people do not understand what the hell is happening here, that prisoners are going to be let out of jails early in New South Wales because of the freaking coronavirus?
Attorney-General here, Mark Speakman, has lost the plot because there's plenty of left-wing academics and Greens around the place who say just let them all out, you know, don't have anyone in prison, and they run that argument with the Indigenous population in particular. But to say that prisons are a coronavirus threat and the answer is to let people out, of course, is just ridiculous, because there's one group that's most likely to go out in the streets and ignore the social distancing. It's the people who've been in prison. And they've got to be under parole supervision, and you know that obviously increases the risk of the virus. And of course, you know, for those who reoffend, they're a public danger. For many people, you know, worse than the coronavirus. And at the start of the day, here with One Nation, we had a look at the legislation, and the government was planning to stop certain people being let out, murderers and terrorists. Oh, well, thank goodness for that. But they were going to let out, make eligible for parole, drug peddlers, armed robbers and serious sexual offenders. And we forced the government, cajoled the government to at least prohibit the parole for drug peddlers and armed robbers. And you'd say the most serious category now getting out are domestic violence offenders. And the best the Greens could do in the upper house is say, oh, we'll notify the victims that the offender might be coming around. So, you know, this is a complete and utter fiasco, and a sign of how the Berejiklian government here has gone too soft. This is not a solution. It's soft social welfare attitude about the prisons, not actually going to do anything to stop the coronavirus contagion. And I can say by the end of it, and trying to delete out of the legislation this zany provision, there are only 4 votes against it in the upper house, the 2 from One Nation and the 2 from the shooters. And I'm proud to say that here in the upper house common sense man cave, I've got Robert Borsak himself from the Shooters Party. So,
hello, Robert.
Paul, we've got a monopoly here on common sense in the New South Wales Parliament, and both of us are always very happy to be on your show.
God love you, mate, and well done. That is a block of common sense. Now, Mark, again, did the government seem embarrassed when you pointed out the obvious flaw in their incredibly flawed decision, or was it a negotiating tactic? Because the idea that, as you say, where that threshold was about who got out is outrageous.
Well, Speakman is a Green Liberal, a fan of Malcolm Turnbull, so, you know, that tells you everything you need to know. But we pushed harder in other parts of the Cabinet to make some improvement. You know, at least we can say tonight, because of the efforts of One Nation, also the shooters, that the drug peddlers and the armed robbers and the serious sexual offenders aren't candidates for parole in New South Wales. And the other problem out of this, of course, in terms of reoffending, haven't the New South Wales Police got enough to do?